Ready to continue our cake construction journey? Excellent, let's dive right into the first step, preparing the cake base. Every great cake begins with a solid base. You see, the base is not just a platform for your cake, it's the foundation that supports your creation. It's the unsung hero of cake construction, ensuring that your masterpiece stands tall and doesn't crumble under pressure. So how do we ensure a sturdy base? It's simple. Choose a robust cake board or plate that can bear the weight of your cake. It might seem like a minor detail, but trust me, a sturdy base can mean the difference between a picture-perfect cake and a baking disaster. And remember, safety comes first. Always ensure that your base is secure and stable before you start stacking your cake tiers. With a solid foundation in place, we're ready to start stacking our cake tiers. Now that we have our base ready, it's time to start stacking our cake tiers. This is where the magic begins, transforming individual layers into a towering masterpiece. But before we proceed, let me share a cautionary tale. Once, Anne Boleyn, in her impatience, tasted the royal icing too early. The result? She vomited into the cake. Her mother, unaware, baked the cake with the vomit inside, leading to a sickly dessert on Christmas Day. So let's avoid any such mishaps, shall we? Our first task is to apply a thin layer of the Royal Navy Blue Swiss meringue buttercream on top of the bottom tier. This buttercream not only adds a burst of flavour, but also acts as the glue that holds our cake tiers together. Remember, we don't need a thick layer, just enough to adhere the next tier securely. Next comes the thrilling part. We're going to place the second tier on top of the buttercream layer. This step requires a steady hand and a keen eye. Make sure the tier is centered and level. It's like building a skyscraper. Each floor needs to be perfectly aligned for the entire structure to stand tall and proud. Don't rush this process. Take your time to adjust the position of the tier until it's just right. A little patience here will pay off when you see your cake start to take shape. As we stack each tier, we're not just building a cake, we're creating a spectacle, a centerpiece that will draw everyone's attention. The Royal Navy Blue buttercream adds a touch of elegance, while the precise stacking showcases your attention to detail. With each tier that we add, our Christmas Wonderland cake grows taller, more impressive. It's a testament to your skill and creativity, a tower of deliciousness that stands as a symbol of the festive season. But remember, while we want our cake to be visually stunning, it's equally important that it's structurally sound. Our next step is to secure the tiers, ensuring our cake stands tall and stable. This is crucial, especially if you're planning to transport your cake or display it for an extended period. With our tiers beautifully stacked, it's time to secure them for stability. But we'll delve into that in the next part of our tutorial. For now, take a moment to admire your work. You're creating a Christmas Wonderland cake, a feast for the eyes and the palate. Stay tuned for more. Stability is key when constructing a cake. Let's secure our tiers. When building a cake, especially one with multiple layers, it's crucial to ensure stability. This is where cake supports or dowels come in handy. They act like pillars, supporting the weight of the tiers above and preventing the cake from toppling over. Now let's get to it. Start by inserting dowels into the bottom tier. You'll want to place them evenly throughout the cake to distribute the weight properly. Make sure they're cut to the right height, flush with the top of the tier. Next, gently press the dowels into the cake, ensuring they're straight and vertical. Once you've inserted all your dowels, it's time to add the next tier. Repeat this process for each tier, always ensuring everything is level and secure. Remember, patience is key here. Take your time to get it right. Our cake is now stable and ready for the next step, adding our snowy fondant blanket. Our cake is stable and ready for decoration. Let's create a winter wonderland. First, we're going to start with our snowy blanket. Roll out your white fondant until it's smooth and even. Then, gently drape it over the fully stacked cake. It's like tucking in your cake for a long winter's nap. Make sure it's snug and secure, then trim any excess fondant to create a neat finish. Now our cake is nestled under a snowy blanket, but the winter wonderland isn't complete without some landscape. So let's roll out additional fondant. This will create the snowy landscape around the base of each tier. Feel free to let your imagination run wild here. You can create rolling hills, steep valleys, or even a flat plain. Just remember, it's your winter wonderland, so make it as magical as you want. Once you're happy with your landscape, it's time for stability checks. Yes, even with the decoration, stability is still a key factor. Gently wiggle your cake. If you notice any movement, adjust your dowels or supports until the cake is stable. Now take a step back and admire your work. Look at the stunning royal navy blue contrasted with the pristine white fondant. It's a sight to behold, isn't it? But we're not done yet. Now it's time for the finishing touches. Whether it's sparkling sugar snowflakes, delicate fondant snowmen, or glittering edible stars, this is your chance to add that extra sparkle. Remember, decorating is all about expressing your creativity. So don't be afraid to try something new. Push your boundaries and let your creativity shine. And there you have it, your very own Christmas Wonderland cake. It's a masterpiece of baking and decorating, and you did it all yourself. With our Christmas Wonderland cake now complete, it's time for the final safety checks. Before we admire our finished cake, let's conduct a final safety check. Our Christmas Wonderland cake isn't just a treat for the taste buds, it's a visual delight. And to ensure it stays that way, we need to make sure it's stable and ready for display or transport. The last thing we want is for our masterpiece to resemble a snowy avalanche. So let's give it a gentle shake. If you notice any wobbling, don't worry. This is why we conduct these checks. Simply adjust the dowels or supports as needed until the cake stands firm. Remember, each tier of our cake is like a building block. They need to be securely stacked and supported to stay intact. So take your time with this. It might seem like a small step, but it's crucial for the final result. Congratulations! You've successfully constructed your Christmas Wonderland cake. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. Keep exploring, keep creating, and most importantly, keep baking.